Hey guys, Rebecca Bockert here today with Colorworks, and I'm here to do today's 5x7, which is our 5 tips in 7 minutes or less. And today I'm going to be covering the orange child, and my tip is going to be based around why they need 2 choices and why it's so important. So the little story I'm going to start with is going to be this week when I was teaching preschool. I had a little orange fella come in, all sorts of salty from the minute he hit the door. His first word is freedom, and he was freedom fighting his mom from the hallway. I could hear it all the way till he hit the door, and then started in with a freedom fight in the classroom, to which I wasn't even involved in. I wasn't part of his original freedom fight, but here he comes rolling at me with all of his stress. So when they come in the classroom, they need to wash their hands. There's a sink in the classroom, and there's a sink in the adjoining bathroom. Well, he had decided from the moment he hit the room, he wanted to use the bathroom sink. I happened to have the information that there was somebody in there using the restroom who had quite a duty to take care of and was going to be in there for a little bit. Mr. Orange decided he was going to pull on the door handle and knock on the door and cause general distress to Mr. Duty. And I was not okay with that. So here we go with our 2 choices. I needed to give Mr. Angry Orange 2 choices because he was already at heightened stress level. He came in the door freedom fighting, and I needed to simmer that freedom fight down. And by applying 2 choices to an orange, you are actually telling them you have some freedoms in your life. Everything is okay, you can still make choices. I got down on his level, put my 2 hands out like I do for my preschoolers, and I said, sweetie, here are your 2 choices. You can either stand here against the wall and stop pulling on that door handle and bothering the person in there using the restroom, or you can go use the classroom sink. Those are your 2 choices. I want you to pick the one that you are actually going to do. And he picked the one where he was going to stand still by the door and stop pulling on the door handle and bothering the person in there trying to use the restroom, as opposed to using the classroom sink. Sometimes we look at oranges and think, why would you choose that? The classroom sink's open, like just go wash your hands and be done. But he obviously had it in his mind that he wanted to fight for that ability to use that bathroom sink. I was okay. I gave him some wiggle room, a little freedom inside of his boundary, that I was all right letting him stand there for a few minutes and wait his turn, as long as he did it standing still. So although I gave him those 2 choices and gave him this pretense of freedom, I actually set him up in freedoms that I was really comfortable with. I was okay because he had a little extra time, and I wanted him to leave that person who was doing the duty alone in the bathroom. So that's the little story I'm going to use to start off why we give these 2 choices. So we're going to go through the need, the basic need, why it was causing, what's causing this, why is it important, the stress behavior they're going to kick out as an orange, the discipline due, why they need to be guided in the way they are. I'm going to give you a 0 to 10 tip and a teenage tip. So let's jump in with the need. So the first color word for the orange is freedom. Whenever we talk about oranges, I feel like we're parrots. Freedom, freedom, freedom. We're always saying the word freedom for them because when the orange is out of whack, it is almost always, especially when they're young, it's a freedom fight, or when they're a teenager. So we're going to be talking about how giving them those 2 choices really gives them this sensation of freedom. Now, those 2 choices were always there. Like, he always had the option to stand still outside the bathroom or to use the classroom sink. But it wasn't until I got down on his level and spoke those 2 choices out loud that he really took grasp of, oh, I do have some freedom here. I can calm down. I am in control. Everything's okay. So sometimes our oranges have the freedom. We have to point it out to them. Let them know what those 2 choices are, because they are so frustrated and in the moment of trying to fight that they have forgotten that they really do have choices. Okay, their stress behavior. What is the orange going to do? They are super mellow, chill, laid-back kids until you want them to do something they don't want to do. Then they become stubborn, angry, sometimes aggressive, a little salty, a little mouthy. They can be sneaky if they're an introvert. So those are the stress behaviors. You're going to see those orange kids kicking out when they're under stress. So I like to say when we teach our classes is trying hard to make your no my yes is like the mantra of the orange. So they can be pretty stubborn when you're asking them to do something that they don't want to do. The 2 choices helps alleviate that. He came in already freedom fighting over who knows what on the drive-in and the way down the hall. And so he was already heightened in that fight. And what I helped to do was remind him that he did have choices and that he did have freedom. He just needed to pick one of the 2 and do it. Okay, the discipline due. It's all about boundaries for the orange. That's their 3rd word. They are controlled by boundaries. Here's the thing, with their boundaries, you have to be firm and non-negotiable. Now, if he had started tapping on that doorknob again or knocking on that door or talking to the little fella in there doing his duty, boom, you're done, you're out. You have crossed my boundary. With oranges, you have to ensure that they know they can trust you to give them those two choices, which work for them and work for you, and that you're going to make them toe the line. Because if they think they can be given two choices and then worm their way out of it, they're going to. So that's a little tip with them, is you've really got to keep it firm for them. Now, with our 0 to 10-year-old tip, I would like to say my tip would be, when you're dealing with an orange, just to remember, to the same extent your 3 words get assaulted. So each color type has 3 words. The same extent you get annoyed, you get frustrated, you get angry about people's behaviors, your little orange is experiencing that too. Now, it comes down to real or perceived needs. Did he really need to wait for the bathroom sink? Absolutely not. He really wanted to, though. And by me trying to just force him over to the other classroom sink, he went into a form of freedom fight panic. He really wanted to be in the bathroom sink. Who knows why? Maybe he likes the lighting in there. Maybe he likes to look in the mirror when he washes his hands. Maybe he likes to get away with something where the teachers can't see him. I don't know. But the fact is, he really wanted it. So my tip for 0 to 10 years old is, sometimes they do really squirrely things and they fight for the weirdest freedoms that we cannot understand what they are trying to gain by it. But remember, they're young, they're immature, their logic system is still building. Just because you don't understand why they're fighting for that freedom or think it's absolutely crazy, that doesn't mean they're not experiencing a real squeeze and frustration, just like you do when you get frustrated when your 3 words are assaulted. So that's my tip for the 0 to 10. My tip for the teenagers is, sometimes the only choice we have is our attitude. My teenagers love to hear this. Here are your 2 choices. Yes, that class sucks. Yes, your teacher's annoying. You can choose to do it with a good attitude or bad attitude. That's the only choices you have right now. I understand it, because that's how life is every day for an adult. We can choose to do laundry with a smile on our face, or kick it down the hall and, be real salty about it. Sometimes attitude is our only choices. So there you go, your 5 by 7 for your orange kid. It's all about 2 choices. Have a great day.